This breed of sheep here, you can see grazing behind me, have a particular connection with the county I'm in and are also seeing a rise in their popularity due to one special ability. I'll be revealing what that is and, of course, where I am in just a moment. It's a huge move from north to south for today's house-buying duo, and a design journey from new to old.
Wow, just look at those beams.
This is different from Aberdeen.
But historic character features may present a challenge.
The beams are always traps for cobwebs.
Look, you can't be saying you don't like the beams because you don't want cobwebs. Otherwise, I'll be showing you around some sort of hermetically sealed plastic cube.
Thank you.
Do you want that? You want that? Right. Today I'm in Wiltshire, and these are Wiltshire horn sheep, a native breed that once roamed freely across the Wiltshire Downs right up until the end of the 18th century. Now, a particular attribute of these sheep is that they're able to shed their fleece in the spring and then regrow it again in the autumn in time for those cold winter months. Meaning for the farmer, well, there's no need for shearing or even dipping, making it a popular, low-maintenance starter sheep for the modern-day smallholder. Now these hardy sheep, well, they're ideally suited to life on the Downs, just one of the many beautiful places that this county calls home. The large landlocked county of Wiltshire lies in the south of England, in a prime position at the gateway to the West Country. A mostly rural county, nearly half of its landscape has been designated as areas of outstanding natural beauty, where white horses gallop across chalk downlands. Gently winding its way through Wiltshire's lush scenery is the 87-mile-long Kennet and Avon Canal. Affectionately known as the K&A, today it makes for a peaceful route to explore the countryside. But when it opened in 1810, this waterway was an important trade route for coal and stone, transported up to London. Travelling further back in time, the county is dotted with evidence of ancient civilisations through some of the country's oldest structures. In particular, Stonehenge, which has stood firm on Salisbury Plain for over 5,000 years. And even older still, the Neolithic stone circles at Avebury. Much later settlements include the hamlet of Sandy Lane, where 18th century thatched homes are served by a small but striking timber-framed church built in 1864. Wiltshire's north-western pocket lies within the Cotswolds, where quintessentially English villages include Castle Combe. History envelops you all around this village, and it's a firm favourite with visitors wanting to experience an idyllic picture of classic country life from a bygone era. Wiltshire has long been a desirable place for countryside lovers looking for access into London or Bristol. But, of course, that convenience does come at a cost. The average price for a detached house here comes in at just shy of £390,000. That's over £60,000 above the national average. But today's buyers think it's worth travelling the distance, all 500 miles of it. The current address for Andy and his partner Sarah is right up on the east coast of Scotland, in the port city of Aberdeen. For over 2 decades, they've called the area home. But since retiring in the last year, they've set their sights on a complete change of location with a move to the English countryside.
One of the main reasons that we want to leave Aberdeen is that it is quite cold up here. It's cold compared to anything you see in the weather forecast down south. Always, 10 to 12 degrees warmer than here. So I'll be looking forward to getting rid of my winter tyres and all my duffel coats.
In the time that I've been in Aberdeen, my children have grown up and I've made some good friends. But my family have now all moved away, and I do feel that this is time for us to start a new life together. It's time to move somewhere that's a little bit different, a bit quieter, and time to enjoy our retirement.
Absolutely.
The couple have been together for 9 years after a chance encounter online.
We met on internet dating 27th of October 2005. I said I liked gardening and cooking, and I always have a roast dinner on a Sunday. And she said, do you have the Yorkshire puddings? And I said, yes. And she said, do you make them yourself? And I said, yes. And then she asked me for the recipe. I gave her the recipe, and then we'd never looked back.
Andy is this happy-go-lucky, cheeky chap, always got a joke.
Sarah is just so laid back, easygoing, nothing's too much effort, and life's just easy.
They share many passions, including a love of car booting. And most weekends, at the crack of dawn, they're searching out bargains to furnish their homes. Each of them has their own separate property, and they share time between the two. Sarah has a 2-bed terrace, and for Andy, it's this 3-bed semi-detached.
We discovered when we met we're only a mile, just over a mile apart, so we can walk to each other's or drive. And we're selling both houses. Currently, Sarah's is sold, touch wood. Mine's on the market, so hopefully we can move into a new house together.
Yep, this will be the first time that we've bought a house together, so it's exciting times.
Although they're planning a future together in Wiltshire, they aren't that familiar with the county.
We've been on holiday to various places south of the border. We don't know much about Wiltshire, but when we've looked at it on the internet, it seems to fit the bill for everything that we both need.
And they've got plenty of activities planned to help them settle somewhere different, both at home and in their newfound community.
A lot of our time is spent in the gardens. Mine is different from Andy's in that I have raised beds to grow the vegetables in a greenhouse. Andy's is much tidier and organised, where we have conifers, and because of the way they've grown, we've developed the hobby of topiary.
Once we move down south, our lifestyle will change because we're going to take up different hobbies.
Well, now that we have time that we're both retired,
I'd like to do my metal detecting and maybe join a bowling club, and you can do your swimming and get your garden together in a big greenhouse. Never see you.
Sarah and Andy are very open-minded about location and would consider anywhere within the county, including crossing the border into neighbouring Somerset. Time for me to catch up with our buyers in Wiltshire to uncover a little more about the details of their move. Here we are in sunny Wiltshire. Welcome. Now, I've heard that you're moving down here to this part of the world for the weather. Is that right?
That's absolutely right.
Well, it's a bit cooler up north of Scotland in Aberdeen, so...
And we see the weather forecast almost every night, and there is a difference.
Do you look at the weather forecast and
Yes.
think, oh, look at those,
Yeah.
They've got more weather there?
Absolutely,
Yeah, definitely.
Now, moving south gets you better weather, but it's not just about that, is it? I mean, there must be conveniences to live in this part of the world.
We would like to be in a community.
Okay.
If there are, you know, a shop or a post office or pub, that would be nice.
Well, let's talk about the house itself. What are your must-haves?
I would like to have kitchen, open-plan kitchen, 3 to 4 bedrooms, lounge, and for me, I would like a 1/3 of an acre garden.
OK, that sounds pretty reasonable. These 3 to 4 bedrooms, are you looking for maybe a study, or are you expecting people to come and visit then?
Well, we could have a gym and a study,
Right.
probably in the same room, to be honest.
You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself, putting a gym in your own house.
It's not a gym,
No,
it'd be a rowing machine and a
Right.
static bike.
OK,
And I generally like to try and row once a day.
right, OK. See, you both sound very active.
Yeah, well, we're reasonably fit.
What about the style of the property? Any particular styles you like? I mean, you've never bought a house before, so you don't know whether you're going to have the same opinion on everything, do you? Or
Well, when we met, we both had the same opinion, so I'm sure when we see a house.
We seem to have a lot of things in common rather
Yeah.
than
Good.
things that aren't, so...
Excellent. Well, hopefully that will come together even more so inside the houses.
Yeah.
Let's talk budget. How much are you looking to spend on this big move of yours?
Maximum £650,000.
I'm looking forward to seeing how we go.
Good.
Should we get going?
Yep, so am
This
I.
way.
Lovely, thanks.
Okay.
For a top budget of £650,000, Andy and Sarah want their first house purchase together to have some open plan elements, including a sociable kitchen diner with 3 to 4 bedrooms that offer options for a home gym and study. And at the heart of the search is a 1/3 of an acre garden. We've got a choice range of fine Wiltshire homes to serve up, at least one of which I hope will hit the mark, even after I finally reveal the attached price tags. Then, to finish off proceedings, I'll be unveiling a rather pious prospect in the shape of our mystery house. We're kicking off our house search in the village of Great Cheval. Sitting on the edge of Salisbury Plain and surrounded by open fields where cattle graze, Great Cheval has a fair few amenities, including a general store, a village hall and a pub. During the 18th century, this Wiltshire village was famous for making sheep and cowbells, which were exported throughout the world. The streets are lined with pretty, characterful houses, including quite a few thatched homes, one of which we've chosen as the first in our lineup. So here we are then.
Wow.
Come right in. Wow's a good start. I like that.
A nice mature garden.
Oh gosh, look at the garden. Lots of things in there.
We will talk about the garden later on, but I know just how important the outside space is to you both. But the main event is this right here, which I think gorgeous.
Absolutely amazing.
Small windows, I do like light.
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Wait and see how you feel inside. I didn't get the impression of it feeling dark and overbearing.
Okay, well.
And is there any low beams? Because we're both over 6
Well,
feet.
you being obviously a second rower, yeah, I think you'll be all right, mate. But so far, so good?
Yeah.
Good. Let's go inside.
Thank you.
With a pedigree dating back to the 1600s, this historic detached property has been given a Grade 2 listing. We'll take this garden entrance. It has an L-shaped footprint, and we're heading to the reception areas in the thatch side. Let us start with the living room. I think this is probably the most impressive room, certainly for me in this house. I want to impress you straight away.
Wow, just look at those beams.
This is different from Aberdeen.
There's great detail in this house, isn't there?
Yes.
Certainly is. Wasn't what I was expecting.
And a fireplace.
Well, that's some fireplace, isn't it?
Nice ingle nook fireplace.
Yeah.
Even got little windows and stained glass through there.
Now then, you looked at the windows outside and you thought, oh, it might be a bit dark in here.
No,
think so.
it's light. There's a lot of
Remarkably.
windows there, so no, the light's definitely coming in. And is there another room for a table?
There is indeed. You read my mind.
Good, good.
Right next door, there's a good-sized dining room, again with a rustic fireplace. This reception room leads through into the single-storey wing of the property. Here we find a ground floor shower room that serves a large dual-aspect double bedroom, which could be ideally placed for a study or a gym. This side also houses a utility room alongside the kitchen breakfast room. So right on the other side of the building, we find ourselves in the kitchen, which is different again.
Certainly is. I think what I would be looking for is a slightly bigger open plan so that you've got more of a space that you can live in.
Yeah. For me, that's the slight Achilles heel of this house, the size of its kitchen.
It's an old house, isn't it? And as such, the rooms tend to be smaller because of the age that the house was built in.
Yeah. Let me take you upstairs, show you some bedrooms. You just squeeze through there. The main sleeping quarters are back in the thatched wing, and there are no less than 3 to choose from. All making use of a family bathroom, the bedrooms up here include a single room, a cosy double, and lastly, the master. Now upstairs, this is the main bedroom.
Okay.
Not just in its size, I think the way it's positioned as well. South-facing, plenty of light coming in here.
Yes. Got wardrobes fitted along the side there.
Bags of space, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, when you go to an old building like this, you look at the thatch, you think, well, we might be cramped for room up here. But you won't.
It's a fair-sized room. It is a pretty house. It's an interesting house. It's quirky.
Certainly quirky, but it's not our quirky.
No.
Right. But it's finding out what your quirky is, and that's
Yes.
why we're here, isn't it? That's what this process is about.
Yeah.
Let me take you outside. Let's talk about the garden. See if that's quirky enough for you. Come with
Okay.
me. Considering this is a cottage, there's a good amount of accommodation on offer, plus a whole lot more in the form of detached, self-contained annex. Featuring a living room with patio doors and views over the garden, a kitchen breakfast room, 1 double bedroom and a smart bathroom, this would make a great addition for visiting family and friends. The attractive garden is well stocked with established trees and beds that should appeal to our green-fingered couple. So in terms of outside space, how are we feeling about what we see here?
Yep, there's a fair amount of garden.
Yeah.
I'm looking where I would be able to put a greenhouse.
Bear in mind, south is that way.
Okay.
So,
I would think the garden itself is big enough, that
Yeah.
the size is what I would be looking for. There's enough here that you can divide it into different areas, different rooms.
OK, well, how much do we think this package would be on the market for? Time to guess the price, Andy.
I would say the house is in the market at £585,000.
OK. Sarah?
£635,000.
OK, good first guesses. This house is on the market for £575,000.
Okay.
I think you should go back into property, remind yourself of what's here, what you get for your money in this part of the world, and I will meet you whenever you're done.
Yeah,
OK?
that's
Okay.
great.
See you
Thank very
shortly.
much. Thanks.
Enjoy it.
Cheers.
Starting off very comfortably under budget with a guide price of £575,000, our first property is a detached Grade 2 listed cottage with 4 bedrooms, 2 reception rooms, a self-contained 1-bedroom annex and a large established garden.
It's a very interesting, quirky cottage, but it's not the house that I would be looking for, as it doesn't have an open plan kitchen, and the layout of the house wouldn't lend it to creating that.
We've looked around and my opinion is this house isn't for us. It's potentially too old.
So all done inside and out?
Yep.
Yes, thanks.
Did you enjoy looking around this house?
Yes, it's an interesting house. Amazing pieces of furniture.
Yeah, quite unfortunately, they're not included. But I think the sense we've got here is you'd just prefer a younger model.
Yes.
Yeah?
But not
Yep.
Sarah.
Oh, I would never dream of going there. You can. Come on, come with me. With their limited knowledge of Wiltshire, Andy and Sarah are hopeful that their move south will allow them to get better connected to all the county has to offer. And in particular, its horticultural gems, of which there are no shortages to explore. One of them is the garden at the 500-year-old Grade 1 listed Avery Manor, situated in the North Wessex Downs area of outstanding natural beauty. We've arranged for our couple to take an inspirational tour of the grounds here with head gardener Simon Brooks. They're all meeting in the Monk's Garden.
Hi there, you must be Simon.
Hi, yes, you must be Andy and
Andy.
Sarah.
Hi, nice
Hi,
to
yeah.
meet you.
Hi, yeah, nice to meet you. Welcome
Thank
to
you.
Avery.
So the house behind us, what age is the house?
The house dates back to about the 16th century. It's got a long history to it, been added to many times over the years, so various additions and changes done to it, as has the garden. In fact, the garden history probably goes back even further. And the garden itself is just such a lovely garden to be in. It has such a rich history. You've got all sorts of different elements within the garden. You've got the topiary, you've got the ornamental beds, you've got the shrub beds. There's lots of different features
Variety.
within this garden. Yeah, so much variety.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also potential as well with it.
The beautiful grounds are arranged and planted in a series of rooms, each with a different style and character. They include a kitchen garden and a half-moon design. A doorway from the Monk's Garden leads through to the south lawn, which boasts an impressive view of the sarsen and limestone manor.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, it's a fantastic property. A lot of the garden around it was designed by the Jenners in the 1920s, subdividing areas and creating a lot of the garden rooms. There's many different areas within this garden, and a lot of them have features of topiary, of hedges, of ornamental plants throughout.
It's just amazing. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
The grounds are cared for by a dedicated team of 4 gardeners and 20 volunteers. Duties include a once-a-year clip of each individually shaped yew tree and box hedge.
Got a bit of yew topiary here that if you fancy your hand at having a little go at it,
Certainly.
I've got
I'll be doing the bottom.
pair of shears.
Yeah.
So all we're doing is we're taking off some of this fresh growth,
Yeah.
taking it back to a nice firm shape.
After a quick demo from Simon,
We're just going in and just giving it a light trim over.
first Andy is let loose with the shears.
You're doing a cracking job.
He has lots of practice at home.
And then Sarah joins in.
That's excellent.
So how old do you reckon that this is?
This is probably around the 100 years. It's probably, again, one of the Jenner plantings for the property. I think that's looking pretty good. If you just want to take a step back, have a look at it.
It's looking good.
Yeah, you can see where you've clipped. It's all nice and tight, and then you sort of go up further and you've got that woolly growth. And that's something that we're going to do a bit later.
The worst bit is picking all the bits up, actually. Do you have a hoover for that?
I'm leaving you to that.
Thanks.
Hopefully this visit has helped shape our couple's vision for their very own Wiltshire garden. But first we've got to find it when the house hunting resumes in the morning. It's day 2 of our property search here in Wiltshire. And with a budget of £650,000, we're helping Andy and Sarah to escape the Scottish city of Aberdeen and buy their first house together. Still to come, we're hoping for some divine intervention at our mystery house.
Is there a garden that goes with it?
Should we cross that bridge when we come to it?
Well, there's bridges as well.
Not so much a bridge, more leap of faith.
Okay.
Come with me. And I'll be learning the right lingo to look after some long-standing Wiltshire residents.
Come by, which means go to the left,
Yeah,
away to me, which is to the right,
yeah.
and lie down.
I can figure what lie down is.
Well, good.
Well, I think a steady start yesterday, but today Andy and Sarah are going to see 2 houses. Later on, the mystery property gives them the opportunity to look around a rather interesting property that also has that open plan feel I think they're both really after. But of course, in order to get hold of a house like that, they will have to put up with a couple of compromises. Beforehand, we're off to see a property that I think Andy should rather like. It comes with perhaps a more interesting, characterful exterior, but inside it gives them that contemporary feel. Let's see how we go. To start the day, our first property destination is the village of Cheval in the heart of Wiltshire. Nestling within the North Wessex Downs area of outstanding natural beauty, Cheval lies in the shadow of a white horse. Cut in 1780, it's the second oldest of Wiltshire's chalk horses, carved into the landscape. In the village itself, there's a church that was originally built in the 12th century and a pub selling traditional home-cooked food. The houses in Cheval include charming thatches, some of which date to the 14th century. And the property we've come to explore has a unique history of its own, for it started life as an old tractor shed within a farm. Right then, I was thinking, from what I learnt yesterday, that you would like a property that looks like it's got character, looks a bit older, but has maybe a slightly more modern and contemporary feel inside.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is why we've brought you here.
Good.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It looks promising.
Does it?
Yeah.
Looks good.
Should we go inside?
Yeah.
Let's go. Lying in a small courtyard development of 8 properties, this timber-clad barn was converted into a family home in the late 1990s. The exterior may suggest a certain old-world style, but I'm hoping the classic footprint will be a more comfortable fit for Sarah and Andy. Your biggest room is this living room. What say you?
Yeah, it's nice.
Lovely and bright. Yeah.
Nice sized room.
Yeah.
Are you now thinking, well, I could settle in here, I could nest in here, if you like? Because this is your first home together, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
It is, yes.
yeah.
Maybe our last.
Well, on that sunny thought, let's go to the kitchen. You are a ray of sunshine, aren't you? Goodness me. As well as the sitting room, the ground floor also boasts a study with views over the back garden. Views also shared by the kitchen. Right then. I do know you like an open plan kitchen. This isn't really that, is it?
But it's a kitchen, it's a good working kitchen, and there is space for a table. So this is what I would be
Certainly
looking
bigger
for.
than what we've got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next door is a dining room.
Put an archway in there rather than knock the wall down. You could just walk through.
Yeah.
It's ringing more bells than the previous houses.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You'd go along with that, would you say?
Yeah, I would.
Let's go upstairs then, shall we?
Okay.
It's always an encouraging sign when buyers start visualising how they would live and make use of the space inside a property. So I'm confident we're on the right track with this one. Upstairs, off a roomy landing, there's a fully tiled family bathroom. And 4 spacious double bedrooms, one with useful built-in wardrobes. And the master bedroom has an ensuite and plenty of storage.
Good. Yes, nice
Big room.
wardrobes.
Yeah.
Up here, this being your main bedroom, you've got 3 other bedrooms and a family bathroom.
Okay.
So plenty of space and privacy for
Yeah.
guests when they come to stay.
Yeah,
Which is an advantage, isn't it?
definitely.
Well, outside, you've got a decent garden, fairly well planted. Let me take you there and I'll show you what's available to you.
Thank you.
Good. So far, so good with this tour, but we've still got to assess the all-important outside space. The property comes with triple garaging within the gravelled courtyard. And at the back of the barn, a large private lawn is flanked by mature trees and hedges.
Do we know which is north or south facing?
This is north.
Okay.
Well, time now to guess the price for this house. Who's going first?
I shall go first. Well, I would say £540,000.
All right.
And I'm going to go up to £560,000.
You might want to sit down for this. This house is on the market for £650,000. This is a decent-sized home.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for, isn't it?
It is, yes.
I will catch you later on. See you in a moment.
Okay, thank you.
Enjoy.
Cheers.
Right on budget at £650,000, this modern timber-clad barn conversion offers Andy and Sarah 3 reception rooms and 4 double bedrooms. Outside, there's triple garaging and a large, secluded garden.
It's bright, it's well decorated, clean, tidy, nice lines. The kitchen's excellent. There's a couple of things that we would like to do to it, but no, it's quite a polished house.
I like the location insofar as it's in a village setting, so that you're in amongst other houses and other neighbours. But the orientation of the house is something that I would be looking for slightly differently, where it wasn't a north-facing back garden.
Right then, all done?
Yep.
Okay, so hopefully this has given you something to consider, very different to what you've probably seen before. Let's keep going, shall we?
Yeah, that'd be good. Thank you.
With a proud tradition of farming that goes back thousands of years, a high concentration of Wiltshire's landscape is dedicated to farmland, and over 160,000 sheep graze on the rich, fertile plains here. The county's once prosperous wool trade has long since declined, so fleece is no longer the main motivator when it comes to choosing the best breed. And this makes the Wiltshire horn sheep a particularly low-maintenance option, as they have the unique ability to shed their own fleece. Adrian Andrews has a farm just north of Chippenham, where he breeds the special livestock. I've come to meet him and his native flock. Morning, Adrian.
Morning, Johnny. How are you?
Very well. Beautiful start to the day, isn't it?
Lovely.
And a lovely spot you've got here.
Yes, very, very pleased with it.
I was expecting to see loads of wool on sort of wire around the fences and things like that.
They shed the fleeces in the spring.
Right.
So when they do shed the fleece, the birds make use of it for actual material for building their nests.
Oh, fascinating. There's a lot of history in this part of the world, isn't there, with the wool trade. I think towns were even built upon the wool trade, weren't they?
Yes.
So you've got a sheep that sheds its golden fleece, if you like. It wasn't exactly an advantage back then.
As you quite rightly said, the Wiltshire horns did go out of favour.
Now, fast forward a couple of hundred years, really, having a sheep that doesn't require a great deal of husbandry probably has an advantage now then, does it?
Yes, they do look after themselves. All right, you've got to make sure they have enough water, enough shade, and things like that. And obviously check them every day. But they are a very, very low-maintenance breed.
And caring for the flock is made even easier with the expert paws of Adrian's sheepdog, Pip.
There are 3 basic commands.
OK.
Come by,
Yeah.
which means go to the left.
Yeah.
Away to me, which is to the right.
Yeah.
And lie down.
I can figure what lie down means.
Well, good.
Pip darts off to gather the sheep in the top corner of the field.
Look at that.
And we're going to help bring them down to the pen.
Away, Pip. Lie down. Get up.
The speed of which this dog moves is quite breathtaking.
Steady. Steady. Wait. Come by. OK.
This is getting like clockwork.
Lie down. Just going to push him on a little bit. And I want you to bring that aluminium hurdle round.
OK.
Keep bringing it round, Johnny, that's it. Good. Good job. Keep coming round. Keep coming round. Bring it to this corner here, please. Lie down. That'll do. Good girl.
And after all that hard work, Pip can't resist a cool down in the water trough. As for the sheep, we're scanning the flock to make sure the records are up to date and that each one has its correct tags. Oh, not your lucky day, sweetheart. You're coming with me.
Each sheep now has to have an electronic tag.
OK.
That sheep I know is an 08 sheep, which is one of the first ones I had.
Is it 08 as in 2008?
It was born in 2008.
Right, OK.
So that wouldn't have had an electronic tag put in then.
By law, all individual sheep require identification with tags or tattoos. Yellow tags are electronic identifiers. The green ones mark the sheep born here on this farm, and the red ones are for sheep born elsewhere. The untagged sheep I come across are led into a smaller pen.
I'm now going to grab the ear, make sure there's no vein, put it in so there is still room for the ear to grow, and put it in like that.
The sheep need 2 tags in each ear. This reminds me of being a teenager getting ears pierced. Right, here we go, hold on.
OK? Good.
Next, for the green tag, which signifies it was born here.
It's this one at the back you're doing. Squeeze. There.
Plus the yellow electronic tag.
Squeeze hard. There.
There you go, wasn't so bad, was it? This feels like the most involved you get with these sheep.
Yes.
It does, I mean, to call any kind of livestock low maintenance is probably misleading, but I can see why this would be a great introduction to anybody that's looking to get a small holding.
Absolutely.
Well, I must say I've had a really interesting time here on Adrian's farm with Pip and the flock. A native Wiltshire breed that has survived centuries of changing fashions and fortunes and really stood the test of time. I'm back on the road with Sarah and Andy, making our way to our final destination. So we're off to see the mystery house.
Wow.
This is exciting.
What do you think you'd be prepared to compromise from your wish list?
Perhaps the open plan kitchen, but I would still want the garden.
I think
There's
number
going to be
one,
some tears before bedtime.
yeah, number one is the garden. If it's no garden, we're goosed.
When will I know at the mystery house whether or not we're goosed? Our last property is in the rural National Trust village of Laycock. The village dates from the 13th century and owed much of its prosperity to a successful trade in wool. Beautifully preserved and largely unchanged from that time, today Laycock is often used as an historic backdrop for period film and television dramas. The captivating architecture houses amenities that include a post office, village stores and bakery. From thick thatches to quaint half-timbered cottages, and amongst the attractive housing stock is one standout property that we have chosen as our mystery house. Here we are.
Goodness me.
Wow.
Goodness me, indeed.
So is this a converted
This is-
chapel?
It is converted Methodist chapel.
Yes.
That's impressive.
I think it's really handsome. I love the shape and symmetry of it all.
Nice looking building, yes. Nice archway. Is there a garden that goes with it?
Should we cross that bridge when we come to it?
Oh, there's bridges as well.
Yeah, not so much a bridge, more leap of faith.
Okay.
Come with me. Built with rough limestone under a limestone tiled roof, the chapel was originally constructed in 1812 and its conversion into a residence was completed in 2012. We're entering this unique property through the original arched chapel doors. Prepare to be impressed.
Wow. Very smart. Very different.
Yeah, there's not many like this, is there?
Indeed.
This part looking good.
Now, these churches, chapels, and barns to an extent, but especially ecclesiastical buildings like this, they're not easy to convert and get decent living space out of. Because
Yes.
they're normally just one big, long hall.
Long space, yes.
With maybe a galleried area to the end you can play around with.
Yeah, it's been tastefully done. Well done.
Many of the period features have been retained within this stylish conversion. yet it presents a contemporary take on modern-day living. The vaulted reception areas feature Gothic stone mullion windows and a sitting room up on a mezzanine gallery. Well, of course, the higher you get, the closer you are to these beautiful windows. All the natural light that they afford.
Yes.
Look out there.
Yep, nice to look out over the trees, changing leaf colour.
And you'll notice, see those two roofs either side?
Uh-huh.
They've got doors going into them, roof lights, they're lined, they're floorboarded out. They're not big, but it'd be a great little hobby room or a study.
OK.
Now, coming upstairs to hang out, fire on, or in the summer those doors open, it's a great space, isn't it?
Yeah, no, this is a nice space.
Back down on the ground floor, under the sitting room, is the main family bathroom. And beyond this lie 3 large double bedrooms. 2 of the bedrooms come with their own ensuite shower rooms. And one is currently presented as a family room with bunk beds. Back in the main galleried reception is a second staircase which takes us up to another mezzanine.
OK.
That's a bit of reading room here, isn't it?
Yes. Certainly is. Light.
And we're continuing up to the attic bedroom. Now, even though we're on the top floor, there's still plenty of space in this roof. I think it's a lovely looking bedroom. What about you?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's ceiling height. It's light.
I rather like this marrying of the new and old here. Do you?
Well, the beams are always traps for cobwebs.
Look, you can't be saying you don't like the beams because you don't want cobwebs. Otherwise, I'll be showing you around some sort of hermetically sealed plastic cube.
Thank you.
Do you want that? You want that? Right. This is no spring chicken. You've got all this exposed timber work, but it's been done well.
I think it would be more of a guest room than a room that we would
Yeah.
sleep in.
Yeah.
OK. And then you can shut this off.
Yeah.
As part of the house you don't use a great deal of.
Well, we've got a lot of friends in Aberdeen, and I'm sure both of them will come to visit.
Well, it's a long journey for them, so you better make it worth their while, isn't it?
Indeed.
Let's go outside and talk about the outside space, and also start thinking about price.
OK.
There's no doubt that this is an unconventional home, being the mystery house. But I do think Andy and Sarah have been keeping an open mind about its potential. However, I freely admit feeling rather nervous about presenting the outside space. Now, you might have guessed that the big compromise with this mystery house is
The garden.
the garden. I can feel daggers that you're casting at me at the moment. A mystery house has to have something about it, which I think this place has in spades. But those spades, we won't need many of them to dig over this garden.
Which garden's that?
This green stuff here.
All right, OK.
Yeah. So, are you prepared to make that compromise to downsize your...
Absolutely not.
Right, absolutely not.
No.
Not at all.
Absolutely not.
OK, that gamble has not paid off then. So, let's guess the price. Your last opportunity to get it spot on. Who's going first?
£600,000 on the nose.
OK. Sarah?
I would put a value of £605,000.
It sounds like you would have opted for £600,000 if you got to go first. So, very, very good guesses. And you're right. Andy, smack on the nose, this place on the market for £600,000. Even if this house had an acre of garden, I'm now wondering whether or not we should be looking even at character properties like this. I think you're looking for something maybe different, maybe a bit more modern.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe.
Yeah, a new build on a big plot, but they don't come up very often
No,
because
they're different.
generally new builds, they're touching each other.
Yeah. Keep looking at this place. Just go back and refresh yourselves of what you like about this house, what's missing, apart from the garden. And I'll catch you in a moment, all right?
Okay, thank
See you in a
you.
bit. With a guide price of £600,000, this mystery house is a seamless blend of old and new. It comes with an open-plan kitchen, dining and living area, a large first-floor galleried sitting room and 4 bedrooms, 3 of which have their own en-suites. And the chapel is located in the heart of a beautifully preserved village.
I think the mystery house is very interesting. I like the layout of the kitchen, and the mezzanine floor for the sitting room gave very good views over the village of Laycock. Interesting property.
It's Absolutely a mystery house. It ticks a couple of boxes, but unfortunately it's got a couple of boxes missing. And the biggest one of those is the garden.
Well, time for a bit of reflection then, I think. Maybe chat about all the properties later on, yeah?
Yeah,
Come with me. Well, it's been a good couple of days house hunting, but I'm not convinced we've found Andy and Sarah a property they want to move down here to and enjoy their retirement in. But let's talk to them, find out their thoughts and what they plan to do next.
Box. Yeah, it's really nice.
We'll get one.
Now then, how are we doing?
Good.
Good, thank you.
So, good couple of days, wasn't it?
I thought it was tremendous.
Yeah?
Actually. It's been an absolute experience.
Now, of course, it's a big move for both of you.
Yes.
Did you have a favourite out of the properties we showed you?
Well, I think I did. There was the house that had been built in what was originally a tractor shed.
Oh, yeah.
Inside the house had all the right size of bedrooms, had the en-suites, nice kitchen, nice plot. Just need to turn that house round.
So what's next for you both?
The plan is to sell my house, and then potentially we'll come down here and rent for 6 months, and we'll have 6 months to look around this area and find the ideal house for the pair of us. And there must be one out there, more than
There will be
one. Yeah,
one.
I'm
Look,
sure there was.
We can only show you what's on the market at any one moment.
This particular
Absolutely,
time,
yeah, we
yeah.
appreciate that.
It's a snapshot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
you move down here, you open that window up, don't you? And you're really well set to find the ideal property. You've got time. Well, look, I wish you the best of luck. Let us know what you decide, not just where you live, but what you're living in. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah, sure.
Good luck.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Well, it's a shame that Andy and Sarah won't be going back to any of the properties we've shown them, but I think ultimately they have moved forward in their search. They know what they don't want. I don't think they'll be going for maybe a traditional escape to the country house. I think they're more likely to opt for something more modern, maybe even a new build, and that might even be in a small town. Who knows? But I do think it's a good idea for them to come down here. If they sell their houses in the near future, they should rent. Not in this county, maybe even this region. Get to know the area, and then they'll be better placed to make that big decision of where they want to live, and more specifically, what kind of a house they want to live in. I wish them both the very best of luck. If you too would like to escape to the country in England, Scotland, Northern Ireland or Wales, you can apply online at bbc.co.uk/beonashow.